You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition After Show.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Giselle Ugarte here with another recap of Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, or as we like to say, Abby's Ultimate Dance Experience. Another juicy experience. Another juicy but kind of uneventful episode today. Let me introduce my co-host to my left, my lovelies over here.
Hi, I'm Cris Canger.
Hey everybody, Jason J. Carter.
And of course, our always wonderful engineer over in the corner, Miss Marissa.
Hello, everyone.
We are back in Studio B today, a little different dig. So if you're planning on calling in, you can reach us at 424-256-1633. It sounds like we are going to have some callers from the show today, so get excited for that. I believe Madison, or at least Coreen, will be giving us a call, which will be fun because we talked a lot about Madison last week, and we haven't heard from her in person. So let's go ahead and get started. This is episode 6 of the first season of Abby's Ultimate Dance Experience. It's called Dancing Through the Decades, which we discussed this a little earlier. It's a little interesting that the title is Dancing Through the Decades this week, when last week there was a little bit of a play on decades. I know it was Broadway, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of...
They're reaching.
Yeah.
They're reaching now. They're like, let's whatever. We're going to call it whatever we want and just go with it.
It's kind of like recital themes at this point.
Totally. They're like, and you're going to do like, a September 11th piece, or, it's just great.
Which is ironic because Abby usually doesn't really have much of a theme for her recitals on Dance Moms. So maybe we'll see a change of that next season.
Ew, the word recital just sounds so like 1987. Like, recital.
Hey, they happen every year.
I know.
Every
it's an
year.
annual recital.
It's an annual spectacle. And actually, perfect timing. Richie just tweeted me.
Yes.
We will have Richie Squirrel, a.k.a. Richie Jackson, back hopefully in the studio. If not, he'll be giving us a call. He is doing a lot of really exciting things. He has a brand new website, richiesquirrel.com, so make sure you check that out. And let's go ahead and
Gotta give him the squirrel.
finger wave for
There you
Richie.
go. They're too slow.
We miss
They gotta
you.
be like frenetic fingers. Yeah, my fingers don't move that fast.
I mean, that's why it's a signature.
Right.
It's his
That's
thing.
a talent. I mean, that's God-given right there.
Special skills.
Totally.
On the resume.
I know. I can wiggle my fingers at 5 miles an hour. Check it out one at a time.
Special skills at the bottom of the resume.
I know. Totally.
Well, let's get into it. We start off with the preliminary competition as always. And this week, there is no guest choreographer.
I know.
Do you think that was planned, or did the choreographer not show up?
No,
And
they
they're
were
like, what are we going to do?
We can't afford no one this week. We're not going to hire anybody. Everyone that was on Avail, you're released. All the cards, they're like,
But thank you.
Yeah, but thank you. Tell your agents thank you so much. I mean, they have to switch it up a little bit. So, I mean, it worked. And Abby looked stunning in her yellow and her,
She was
the
bright.
earrings.
Yeah, she was
The
cute.
lipstick.
The lipstick. And I mean, the makeup's getting better and better on Abby. I'm really excited about that. Whoever's doing her makeup, I don't know if they fired someone and hired someone, but it's working.
Well,
Keep
she's
it
also
moving.
got a little bit of an LA tan now.
Yeah.
She's
Also
looking a
known
little LA.
as a MAC color number 55 blonde girl.
Powdering that
I
on.
know.
Or
Man,
San
beating it
Tropez
on.
spray tan.
Yep.
Or the sugar bronze. But yeah, so the theme is improvisation, better known as freestyle.
I know. Can we talk about that?
Again, back in 2012.
Yeah, like, you're going to improv. What is this, stand-up comedy? And when you go to, and she starts talking about at auditions, choreographers want to see you improv. Well, I don't think you're ever going to go to an audition where Brian Freeman's going to be like, okay, now we want you guys to improv. It's freestyle, but she's from back east. Maybe they still call it, freestyle.
Improv's like a little different as
Yeah.
far as I don't know. It's more kind of concert dance.
Yeah.
College,
Like, very,
like
you know,
contact
yeah,
improv.
Sure, but like not like freestyle. These girls were not improvising this freestyle, but poor Abby. Anyways, moving along.
But yeah, no, but I mean, I'm from the Midwest. Things do move a little slower in that direction, so I wouldn't be surprised. So first up, Asia and Hadley, coincidence? After last week?
No, I mean I don't know. I always like seeing those two go at it because Asia is just so dope. I mean, how does this little girl pull off those faces and have that? It's almost like she morphs into like a full grown woman in a in a fun sized body.
She does.
You
Those
know?
faces are just.
I mean, and then even the way she dances, like there's so much intent and commitment from Asia. You know?
Robin Anton would have been proud.
Yeah, she's
There were some
like.
Pussycat Doll moves in there.
Oh, there was a lot of pussycat
this
dolls,
is a
and the
little
face
girl.
too, all up in it.
And she's like giving you, voguing and all these different styles that are
Booty
relevant right
popping.
now. And she's just pulling it all out. That's what you call like uber talented. Whereas Hadley and me and Chris were talking about that. Hadley always gives you more of the really kind of Disney
Commercial.
kind of very commercial. But even Hadley in the freestyle was going for blood. Tipping and quadruple pirouettes and just like what? There's always a move that they dance and they hit like what like to solidify that.
It's like an
turned you up.
exclamation mark
Yeah,
at the
it's-
end of his
right.
sentence.
It's like you got served, sucker. What? Hadley
Yeah.
definitely gave a lot of whats tonight.
Oh yeah, but I thought she did a very, very good job, and I don't know if it was just the editing, but it seemed as though Abby gave more back and forth between them two versus I think maybe it was with Lexine. Lexine just went once, and Asia went twice, and she was like, "Okay, bye, Lexine."
I feel like
you
Abby
later.
saw one move from whoever it was and she's like, "Oh, got it." Like the turn, or when Asia did that little pump on the floor, she's like, "Yep, you're the winner."
Pirouette into the split.
The
Yeah.
intensity though of I think Asia and Hadley, because even though it's like attracts like, let's say you have a dancer arch nemesis that's like someone who's really just as dope as you, and you guys have a lot in common, but because you guys I guess are competing, you guys are enemies, frenemies. I think that's why Abby kept playing up Hadley and Asia, because she kept seeing that they had the same kind of energy. They were alike, they dance alike in a lot of ways. Even though Asia's like
Lots of attitude.
yeah, very fierce, very fiery
I'd like to see more of that from Hadley.
for sure. And
Breaking out of the shell.
not so much of a smile, more of like
I just feel like I see the same note from
Disney.
her, so to speak, every week. It's just kind of like smiley, but that's also kind of what she's given.
I hope that we did see a little bit of next week, and we'll talk about this in predictions, but we do see Hadley finally break down and cry. Because we've seen Hadley be like super confident and super open and super kind of PC. So to see her break down that way, and even in this episode, Yvette cried a little bit. So I'm hoping that for that will be a breakthrough and not a breaking point, and maybe we'll be able to see more of what she could potentially have to offer besides the perfection that I think she's been trying to reach each week.
Right.
Maybe. We'll see. So what did you guys think about a lot of the moms saying that Asia's doing the same thing over and over and over again?
Well, I mean, freestyle, it's hard to freestyling, believe it or not, is for some people it's just choreography done sporadically. You know what I mean? Because people, when they freestyle, they have like a combo or moves that they've already pieced together.
And like a bag of tricks.
Right, they just pull them out.
Basically, like, hey.
Like that's
Pulling
basically what
from it.
freestyle is. I mean, people just when you go to auditions, you already have your freestyle when they ask you to freestyle what you're gonna do. So I mean, and after a while, if you're going back and forth, again, it's really hard. No matter how talented you are, it's really hard to think on your toes, because not only are you trying to dance and be amazing at what you're doing, but you're also trying to watch what the other person's doing and think, okay, well they did this and we topped that. It's like your mind's working 5 miles an hour or like 100 miles an hour. So Asia, being 6 years old and a fetus, she probably was burnt out. She's like, come on, let me keep giving. That's why you saw more of the face versus the actual choreography. 'Cause she's like, fine, I've exhausted all my options. Just let me sell them what else I have left. You know?
Yeah. Well, in terms of editing, they did show us something different every single time. She was on the floor, she was popping, she was turning, she was doing all that, whereas some girls kept on doing kicks and turns and...
But see, Abby likes that. That's the
she
difference.
does.
Because
That's what was interesting about her, is because a lot of the moms said, is she looking for a face or is she looking for a technique?
well, she's looking for both.
Yeah,
Moms.
it's a combination. It's a
Moms.
hybrid. It's the total package. But Asia's dope. She definitely went for blood against Hadley.
Definitely. Well, and everybody. Who else did you guys think stood out besides
Amanda, hello, Samba.
You thought so?
Yes,
That
was she
was
the
hot.
one doing all the ballroom?
Yeah.
At least she was switching it up. Her mom
Right.
was saying
Yeah.
like, why can't we switch it up a little bit?
And
I
Ama-
appreciated that.
And she was confident in her face. She's just such a glamorous. She has that look. I mean, a couple weeks ago we were talking about the eyebrow, but the more we see of Amanda,
No, not we, you.
well, I mean, it was just like she looked like surprised, like you're she's trying to clock
Okay,
us
dance.
away.
Let's move on to the dance.
But she gave you that
Focus.
song, but she didn't come at you with that, girly hip hop, that style that everyone, legs. She was like, I'm gonna give you something that's more technical, that's different. And it was hot. It looked amazing when she busted out the samba. I was like, yes, Amanda.
But see, Abby was like not feeling her there.
I wasn't either.
Didn't she say tango your way?
Yeah,
over there?
tango wrong phrase for that dance style. Can we just stop for a minute, Abby? Really? Like, how could you not be feeling that? Like, I mean, I guess to
Yeah, I
each their
thought it was
own.
good.
It was great. It showed versatility.
Yeah.
I mean, all we get from these girls every week is we get an illusion, a triple pirouette, and some
You're
kind
right.
of flip.
And a
Yeah.
Batma.
Right,
Yeah.
and develop it over and over and over. I mean, the legs just keep growing, growing. And she was like, let me switch it up a little bit.
Personally, I was impressed that I didn't know that she had that in her bag
Thank
of tricks.
you.
So I was
I
like,
will
all
say
right,
that.
cool.
I will say that, but I think I would have liked it a lot more had it been able to live up to the entertainment value, because it did tone it down a little bit. Like if she maybe would have started off doing those technical steps and then done something even more impressive to
Right.
show the chameleon
Sure.
kind of thing, but over and over. I mean, granted, it was 3 seconds of editing, and we see more of that each time, but I think that would have been more impressive. Personally, I thought Madison stood out. There was one move where I was like, girl, what are you doing? And you could see that Abby wasn't impressed by it, but other than that,
She turned
She
a
was-
lot, I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, on
She's good
on
at
the
turning,
dime,
though.
she's a
Yeah,
turner.
for sure.
she turned on a big old box today.
I know.
Right.
All right, well, Asia wins, and she has a couple different options of what she can do. She has to choose yet again. She decides to do an 80s duet, which she didn't choose to do a solo. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, the solo options were what? Hip hop or
20s solo,
flapper.
hip hop solo, 60s solo.
Right.
And so she chose to do an 80s pop routine and ended up getting paired up with Lexine.
I probably would have picked 80s pop too. Some thrashy jazz,
Oh,
whip
yeah,
my
right.
hair around, head rolls.
What about
Right.
you, Jason?
I would have did early 2000s if I had to choose, but since that wasn't a choice,
That wasn't a choice.
I would do the 90s hip hop for sure, because I mean I grew up in that era. All those dances that they did back then. That's when dancing. I mean dancing's still amazing now, but it was hard. It was raw. It was like full out,
New.
full
Hadn't
out.
been done before.
I mean, I remember being in freshman high school, going to dances, battling in the circle. You know what I mean? You're doing all these dances, going hard, and the music was so good. So yeah, I mean, it would have been a throwback for me for sure. 90s.
Maybe it'll come back.
Well, hopefully,
Everything
know.
does.
Yeah,
everything does.
for sure.
I would have done the go-go thing for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
You just,
You just
I
wanted
can
to
see
dance
it.
on that box.
And,
didn't
and
you?
flip your hair around and wear like a cute outfit, huh?
That pony, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't lie. Okay, well, this was definitely an episode of breakdowns. Last week there was a lot of screaming and yelling and catfight, whatever. This is where we really see people lose their screws and just...
Because what have they been there 6 weeks? Maybe a little more?
Yeah, I mean, yes, at least, well, okay. We kind of talked about this last week, is that, let's be real, it's not 6 weeks. It's probably
Like 3 weeks at this point?
3 weeks
Right.
at this point because, they have one day to learn the dance and probably performing the next day. I'm assuming that's how most reality television is. Otherwise,
Mhm.
that's a whole bunch of hotel bills and, like, way too much time on their hands. So, but yeah, they've been there for at least 3 weeks, I would say, maybe a month. And so we see Maria,
She needs to reel it in.
Lexine's mom.
Maria, reel it in.
We saw a little bit of this in the first episode where she's already mentally preparing her daughter to go home, but this time she was just losing it. Do you guys think it was insecurity? Was it pressure?
I think she wants to
Does
go.
she
I think she
feel
was done.
threatened?
I think she wanted to go home. Like I think she was like, this is, you signed up for it. Like if you sign up for it, stick it through. And I think that's a lesson she should be passing on to her child instead of being like, let's go. And then like she
Yeah.
kind of flew before the performances. She like flew off the handle.
And she took it out on Lexine.
And the girl, how old is Lexine? 10?
She's one of the youngest. I think she's 7 or 8.
Yeah, like I never had parents that did that to me growing up, so I can't imagine the pressure. Like I already put so much
And you had a
pressure
dance
on myself.
mom, didn't you? Wasn't your mom one of the...
No,
Oh.
never. There was
Oh.
like one instance where she was, and that was it. And I was like, Mom, no.
No, don't do
know.
it.
Well, maybe Maria. I mean, again, they're experiencing they're experiencing this as well, along with their children. And when you throw your kids in the mix with anything, it's a different. I mean, I don't have kids, but I had a really overprotective mother. They go crazy, and so she probably that's just a culmination of a lot of feelings that she had just came out. And sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you can't control it. And then she's a woman. Not saying that all women are emotional, but however, on this show these women are. So it was probably just her moment. I'm sure they've all had them. We just haven't seen them yet. And that was it.
Maybe her braces hurt.
Yeah, or something. She had them tightened.
Maybe it was that time of
Well, we
month.
saw the rubber bands at one point, I do believe. So.
I'm being serious. I used to get really, really moody when I would have my braces tightened.
And the
when I was
rubber bands
younger.
make it hurt.
They hurt.
Badly.
I think it feels great. I loved it. That torture was great.
Pull on it?
Yeah,
Really?
it was awesome.
You like when it hurts like that.
Make
But
it
then
hurt.
we also got to see more of Amanda's mom, Maylene,
Mhm.
who we hadn't previously seen very much of, and she was very bitter Sally.
She needs to get over it too. Like it was last week, and I'm sorry, but I think anyone's parent in the situation that Yvette was in last week to pick everything, like it's a game. You're playing to win. You're not playing to give each child their best performance of their
It's
life.
competition.
And then she's still holding on to it, like.
I wish these moms honestly would just keep their eye on the prize and just instead of it's like high school. They get so wrapped up in all the frivolous
Emotional,
things that don't need.
social.
I mean, if they would reel it in and really just focus on why they're there, guaranteed their energy would be put to good use, and their kids would reap the benefits of that too.
But then it wouldn't be as exciting.
Right. Well, it's
Right.
reality TV. I mean, but we're talking objectively as far as with the show and keeping these kids there and trying to win because they want to win. You know, for viewership and for entertainment value, of course we want the drama. That's why we tune in. But strip all that away and get into the thick of it, into the reason why they're there. Focus. You want to win. Your kid's effing talented. Cut all the BS aside. Make it happen.
Exactly.
What did you guys think about her confronting Yvette when they all went to?
Forest.
I think leave Yvette alone. I mean, poor Yvette. I have a newfound love for Yvette. I get her. I get her because she knows what she's talking about. People are intimidated by her because she's good at what she does, and she's not.
Keeps her cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And people hate that it's like when you're mad at someone, you want them to flare up.
I don't know if she keeps her cool as far as if she like. I'm sorry, Yvette, but like it's a little obnoxious to be like, like with a smile when someone's like coming at you,
That's
even
why
to
people
talk
don't
to
like
you.
her, though, is the fact that she's able to maintain that same face all the time. And so I think for them, it's like they want to hate her, but they want to like her, but they don't know what her deal is, and they think that it's just like a facade
Well,
for
yeah, they
something
think
else.
that she's
Well,
being
it is, I
condescending.
mean.
That she's like laughing in your face. You know
Exactly,
how, like, when
and
you're
that's
catching-
I think that's one of the worst things.
Yeah, when you're like, yeah, Giselle, like you're just being fake. You're being patronizing. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly what
but,
she's doing.
Exactly, but
And that's how it comes off.
It comes out, and I'm sure she's not
She's
trying to do that
mastered
way.
the game face.
Right.
I can't totally, knock on someone for that because she is able to stay more professional than I think a lot of the other moms are able to do it.
But when someone's angry, and even if they're not trying to like read you or trying to, cut you down, like react, speak, be a human being. Like you're not
Yeah,
smiling
you
like
think she's-
bobbleheading. You know?
I did like how
Talkative.
she did call out Maylene. She's like, well, how would you have done it?
And I think that's why I said she needs to get over it, and Yvette was
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I also thought it was funny that Kelly goes, she's just another dance mom. And this was definitely a dance mom episode for Kelly. We've talked to Kelly, and we know that she's a dance instructor. She obviously loves her daughter. Her daughter's incredibly beautiful, incredibly talented.
Jordan, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one where she was yelling at
She
her
went
daughter.
off, and I just can't really agree with the dance mom things. And like some of the stuff she was saying was
Yeah.
just like to put that pressure on her and say, "Oh, my son is at home, my husband's at home." Like, okay, that's her brother and her dad, just
Yeah.
in case you
Yeah.
forgot. And we're all like, they're both trying to work for something. There's no reason to like berate her and attack her and yell at her.
And Jordan looked like watching her take it, like watch her receive that message. She handled like an adult. She's like, "Ma," like she was. Normally little girls like that would cry, but Jordan was like,
Break
"No,
down.
no, what are you talking about?"
I must say, like all the kids, I mean, if you guys agree with me, are incredibly mature to deal with this
Yeah.
and have their parents screaming at them and then got on stage. I mean, even Lexine tonight. Like, wow.
Well, I think that's also part of the reason why. I mean, this isn't in all cases, but in my experiences, I feel as though a lot of my dancer friends are a lot more disciplined and a lot more articulate because they're having to deal with critique. They're having to learn to accept, okay, I need to get better. There's always room for improvement. And I need to be able to stick up for myself or take it like a champ. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you see that within Jordan. She's very, very young. I thought it was interesting. And, granted, again, it's whatever the camera catches. But Kelly says, I'm here to win this. I'm here to win this. And
Ooh,
you
nice
see a lot of
catch.
the moms say, we're doing this. We're doing, like, what are you want to do? And she just said, I'm here to win this.
Right.
And that was definitely a moment that was a little
creepy.
yikes.
Well, you have to also remember that again, Yvette and Jordan's mom, they have dance studios. They're businesswomen as well, so it's their reputation on the line as well. But getting back to, just to touch on how she was handling Jordan, I don't agree with it either. I think it's disgusting, and I think it there's no you can guide and nurture and cultivate a young person and be forceful without berating them and being demeaning, especially your own child.
Agreed.
You know.
Yeah.
And
I would have to imagine that it must be very difficult for them to be able to differentiate that dance instructor versus, you know, stressed out mom versus supportive cheerleading mom. And she even said at the beginning of the episode when she was crimping Jordan's hair is that, you know, remember when we're downstairs, I'm the dance instructor. I'm not your mom. Just remember that. And I think she kept on having to remind Jordan of that. And I think Jordan is maybe used to that. But at the same time, it's a hard.
It's gotta be. It's like a whole other layer to deal with while you're there.
Yeah.
And we see that when Gina Starbuck is working with, who was that? Madison. And Coreen kept chiming in. Oh well, there'll be no turns there. We're not gonna do that on the box. And I'm like, props Gina, because she's like, I'm the choreographer, and like enough out of you over there. Because I know myself working with a student and having their mom like barking in my ear, I'd be like.
Irritating.
No, especially when that mom's not even a dance teacher or a dancer, you know?
Well, that's when you tell the mom to kick rocks and get to stepping. You know, you have to put your foot down. But again, these moms are, first of all, Madison stellar, and these parents. I feel like these parents want so much control over everything that it's so detrimental. And like you said, Gina putting the mom in the place very tactfully was what needs to happen every week when these moms try to step over the bounds, like with Zach's mom. And it's just I don't know what these moms are thinking or these parents are thinking, because they feel like that's my child, but where do they? I think all reality and all common sense just goes out the window when they're because.
And I'm sure in their defense they're consumed in this environment to where it's
completely.
It's very hostile.
Yeah, it is a hostile environment.
I don't know. You know, every reality show is different, and this is the first season of the show, so who knows how it is. But a lot of competition shows, sometimes they don't allow people to really speak very much if the cameras aren't there. So then it's like you have all of these things bottled up inside of you that you want to say, but you're not allowed to talk because the camera's not there, and then all of a sudden it just word vomit everywhere.
They say
blow chunks all over the dance floor.
Yep.
And, you know, I mentioned before, another little breakdown that we saw, Yvette ends up tearing up a little bit because, you know, like when she called in last week, you don't talk that way to my baby.
Right.
And, you know, she says that Robin kicked her daughter while she was down, and so it was.
I mean,
it
I don't know if that was the
see.
case there. And again, we just talked about dancer used to getting critiqued. I don't know if it was the best thing for Robin to say, you know, like she's a better dancer than you. She's like, the way it was put was not the best, but like Yvette's out here giving these like pep talks and words of advice. Like I was surprised to see her break down there, but at least we know she's not just always like smiling, you know.
Well, it's her baby.
Yeah, and Yvette's defense watching the show and what Robin said. First of all, not to hate on Robin, but just the way it came out sounded very slurred and inebriated. I don't know if she was drunk this episode. I love you, Robin.
Okay, let's not jump to that.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about all
that.
But we want her to come in to AfterBuzz.
We're joking, Robin. But however, the way it came out was very harsh. And yeah, there's critiques. You can give someone a critique, but instead of saying she's a better dancer than you, and it wasn't, and you guys, and it wasn't even the type of, however, it was bald, flat out, bold in your face. She's a better dancer than you. She's just a better dancer than you.
And that wasn't the first time that she said it either. She said it a couple times on tonight's show, which was interesting. So I mean, let's get into that. Let's get into dancing through the decades with these kids. So we start off with Brianna, who's doing a roaring 20 solo.
Clapper girl.
Well, now she was really upset prior to going
actually,
out.
Before we move on, she was another breakdown that we had in this episode. Brianna, crazy. Why? I mean, not crazy as in she's psycho. Crazy as in it was crazy to see someone who was at the top of, you know, the level. You know, she's been said that she could possibly win this thing. She has incredible technique. She has incredible expressions, and has her first solo, and she's freaking out.
And I'm sure she's competed solos her whole life.
But this is a different environment, though. When you're first of all, when it's being televised. One, they have the judges. When you compete a solo at a competition, you have these people talking to this, and you get them after the fact. You don't have
Right.
you don't have cameras, an audience, and these judges that are brutal, telling you either approving of you or giving their their harsh critiques. And again, this is intense for them. Like you said, it's lonely at the top. Everyone it's sharks, it's crabs in a barrel. Everyone wants to keep you down. You're alone, even though you have your parents or whatever. Sometimes your parent is your worst enemy, as we saw with Jordan's mom tonight. So, in order for these people to let it go and to be able to go out there and be sane, because when you're bottling up all those emotions and you're upset, you want to just bawl and you can't do it. That's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
And that will affect your performance. So
but
it's better.
she's shown some raw emotion though throughout the season.
Especially with the bullying.
With the
Yeah.
bullying, she had a lead in that dance. By the way, she's done duets, and she started showing anxiety about the solo while it was still being choreographed. And granted, there was the little somersault at the end over the couch, which could have gone so badly.
But she committed to it. I know. I wonder if that was happening in rehearsals to bobble back.
Boom.
Ooh.
But I'm just wondering where it's really coming from. I wonder if there was maybe something more that was going on that we didn't see.
Probably.
But I mean, I must give props to Madison first of all, because she was genuinely worried and went and tried to console Brianna, and as well as her mom, Cris, was so sweet. And Cris is slowly appearing as like not a crazy stage mom, so to speak. She's like, "Are you okay? Can I help you?" And then she was like, "You just look so beautiful." Like, it was just
always
so.
kind of been, yeah.
It was great to see the mom and the daughter interact without like stretch your foot, you're sliding with a flexed foot. Like, calm down, mom. Calm down.
Yeah, because definitely Maria was kind of kicking Lexine when she was down, and just boom.
I
boom,
think
boom,
Maria.
boom, boom.
I don't think that was really directed at Lexi. I think she was done being there. Like, mentally, she had it herself, and she was just projecting on any way or anyone she could.
Yikes.
So I don't think she was. I think her intentions were a little different than Jordan's mom. Kelly was was just different.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening, please let us know what you think. Were the dance moms getting a little crazy? I shouldn't say we're the dance moms because they're not the official cast of the dance moms, but the mothers of the dancers on the show, were they getting too crazy? Were they being competitive? Let us know what you think, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching the live stream, join the chat, give us a call. Oh, it sounds like we have a caller actually. Hello, caller. You're calling into AfterBuzz TV. Are you there?
Hi,
Hi.
it's Coreen. How are you?
Oh, hi, Corine. How are you?
Coreen.
Thanks for calling.
I am good. I love your show.
Thank
Oh, that's
you.
so sweet. Thank you.
We love watching you, and we love watching your daughter. She has quickly become a favorite over the last couple of weeks for us.
Stellar dancer.
Thank you so much. I'm watching your show, and it's buffering a little bit, so I may be behind. But I just wanted to comment on the whole box thing when I'm talking to Gina.
Yeah.
Because normally I don't ever get involved with the choreography. I stay away. I'm not even in the room. But I was just more concerned for Madison's safety. And the box was really high. And even
was
they didn't
really
show
high.
this, but it was really high.
It looked
and
high.
Gina had mentioned, it was very high. And Gina had mentioned they didn't show it, but that she actually didn't even expect it to be that high. So she was a little concerned at first, too. So that's where it all came from.
And the
But I was
turns
just more
were
concerned about her
definitely scary. I'd be scared to do those turns up there as well. Did
yeah,
you? I want.
and you know what? And then they didn't even show it.
I
More
was
bummed
just
about
gonna
that.
ask you that question. Did you notice, like, where were the turns? Was her number cut for the TV show? Did they actually cut the length of it?
I actually think they did because she did turns on the floor too, and they didn't show those either.
Because I was waiting
kind
for
of
that
upset.
moment, and they're like panning the judges and the audience, and I'm like, "Where's Madison?"
I know. Clearly, the editors are not dancers because they don't always pick the most impressive footage to show.
And how long are the
Exactly.
routines, give or take?
The routines are, give or take, they're not more than a minute.
Oh, okay.
They're 59, a minute, no more than a minute. But her routine was definitely cut in a couple spots. So
And
I
I'm
was a
surprised they
little
didn't
upset.
show the turns, especially after they had showed that in rehearsal and they didn't show it on the stage. It was not the best
Yeah, it
editing.
didn't make sense.
It made no sense.
So how did it feel seeing your daughter go from someone who almost got sent home to seeing her be in the top 2 this week?
You know what? Madison has been consistent all along. I mean, when she was in the bottom, it was very hard for her because she's not used to being in the bottom.
And she shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have been.
She shouldn't have been, but you know what? It is a show, and and it's a judge's opinion. So I was happy that she came out in the top 2 this week. I was very happy for her and her confidence. I mean, she is very focused, Madison, and this is what she wants. I mean, we are in there, and we're not involved in the drama. We just are there.
It's true. And Madison, we were just talking about how sweet Madison was when Brianna was upset. And it shows, like, she's a sweetheart, which is awesome, talented, and a real person.
Yeah,
she
is a real person. And she cares about other people.
She's not a robot. She is a real person.
Yeah, and, feels sympathy and compassion for the other dancers and is not just always out for blood.
Right.
And you're calling from Florida, right, Coreen?
Yeah, I'm calling from Florida.
So it's a little past your bedtime. Is Madison already in bed?
Oh, yeah, she's in bed. She's sleeping.
Has she gotten a chance to see the show at all?
Oh, yeah, she watches the show the next day. She loves your show. She loves it.
Oh, really?
So tell us how the show has changed, Madison as a dancer, as a person, or even you as being a mother of a dancer. Do you feel like it was a positive experience? Do you feel like...
You know what? The show was a great experience. Madison got to work with great choreographers. She got to think on her feet. It was just overall a great experience for her. And we have no regrets about it. We would do it again. And like I said, she got to work with amazing choreographers. It was like a great summer intensive.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me is that they're not really showing what these kids did. They danced 6 to 7 hours a day. They did group dances, which I don't know why they're not showing if they don't have enough time. But they put a lot of time and effort into those group dances. And it really bothers me that they don't show it.
That's
but hopefully going forward they will.
That's interesting that you say that, because one of the comments that we've had over the last couple of weeks is, we wish they would have done a group number. Why aren't they doing a group number? So you're saying that there was a group number.
Oh, yeah, they're online.
Okay.
They post on their website every week. You can see them.
Oh, wow, okay.
They just don't always show them. But, yes, that's how they start off the competition, is every week with a group dance.
How did you all get involved with the competition, being, all the way from Florida? How did you hear about it? What was the initial audition process like?
We saw an initial posting for this, and we sent in a video. And then we got a call, and, we had an interview, and then we got sent to New York, and Madison had to do her solo, and in front of the producers, and then we just went from there.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Well, Madison is one of my personal favorites.
We love her, and she just, like, after her freestyle last week, where
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, where Abby had them to have the 2-way counts at the end, was just so awesome, like spot on. She was the only dancer that did it perfectly to the direction of what Abby wanted.
Yeah.
And I mean, and just her
killed it.
I mean, your daughter is just she just has it, and we always talk about it. We don't know what is, but she has that it factor, and it definitely resonates through television and and on camera, because she's just so stunning to look at and such a joy to watch. So it's definitely a blessing that
thank
Madison.
you so much.
And she has a great name. I've always loved that name.
Yes.
So do we. We love that name.
Well, Coreen, before we let you go, do you have anything to say about last night's episode, or do you have any juice that you can give us before the next episode?
I can't give you any juice for the next episode, but
There's an NDA.
I thought last night's episode, the dance-off with Asia and Madison. Yeah, Asia, how you were saying all the moms kept on saying she was doing the same thing. She did do a lot of the same thing. My whole thing with this whole show is I want the best, well-rounded, technical dancer to win, and that's my feelings about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you also look great on camera. I'm looking at you right now. I mean that.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah,
There's Madison right there.
There's
And they show
Madison.
you, yes, your lip gloss is popping.
Love that lip gloss. Love the makeup lady.
I was like, hey,
I hate
Coreen.
seeing myself on camera.
No, you look great. You look stunning. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Well,
thank
we're
you.
excited to see how Madison does in the rest of the competition, and
And I'm
hopefully
sure
we'll
she'll
just
go
see
far.
a lot more of you guys. Yeah, she'll definitely go far no matter what she does. So hopefully we'll hear from you again soon.
Great. It was great talking to you guys, and like
You
I
as
said, I
well.
love your show.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
We
calling
love yours
in.
as
Happy
well.
holidays.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Have a good
Take
night.
care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
She's great. I love her.
I love it.
she's
I love
great.
that they're all watching our show.
I know, that's awesome.
That makes me so happy. So I think we're doing something right.
We
but
are,
you know,
we
as
are.
I was beginning to say before, let us know what you want to see more of, less of, so we can bring you the best shows. And as we'll mention a little later, there will be a season 2. So perhaps we'll be around for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you guys. Will there be a season 2 and it's playing on the screen? If you want to be a season contestant on next season of, yes, there will be a season 2. It's awesome stuff.
So there will be a season 2. Hopefully we'll have a season 2 here as well. So let us know what you'd like to see, and please rate us, preferably 5 stars, or let us know how we can get to 5 stars in your hearts that you'll give us 5 stars.
Yes.
All right, moving on. So we started to talk a little bit about Brianna's Roaring 20s solo.
I thought she was fire this week. She was great.
She's always fire, though. Even in the hip-hop, she's just a well-rounded
This week I saw a lot more, like, iography, if you will.
Yeah.
You know,
Smizing?
like, she had, like, a good smize, good booty tooch.
Yeah.
If we're getting Tyra terms
We
in
saw
here.
a new side of her that was a little bit more subtle, I think.
But powerful.
Right. It was
like
crisp and clean.
the ocean.
Yes.
You know?
The ocean.
And
Just, like,
she's
powerful yet subtle.
And what was really cool about the choreography too is that we normally see Brianna giving legs, technicality all the time, and she did this week too,
Right.
but it was more feminine. It was more womanly, I
She
guess.
gave some great
Softer.
legs. Those
Yeah,
fan
it
kicks.
was
with that
softer.
little heel pop. I really enjoyed that number.
Yeah,
It
she
was
definitely-
soft, but it was loud.
Right.
Yes.
She definitely had a nice balance. It wasn't nothing was overdone. The costume was great. I mean, again, but you're
Makeup
always
was amazing.
great choreographer. I mean, there you go.
Yeah, I agree. The flip over the chair, again, we talked about that. Major anxiety watching it. It looked great. I think the transitions could have been a little bit more fluid with her. There were a couple times when I felt it was a little choppy, but I was so impressed with her, especially at the beginning, like the little subtleties. I loved it. I love her. I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah. I agree.
Robin makes a reference not only to the Pussycat Dolls, but also says that she wishes she would have seen more of, and she mentions the singing in the rain and the fan kicks and all that.
Charisse in the hills.
And it's like, hold on, honey. She's not the choreographer.
Yeah.
She has
Right.
no control over that.
It-
She couldn't.
I mean, I think girls should dance in heels, and that would have been a good number
little-
for that, or
you're
at
right.
least like the Padinis, the teacher shoes with like little kitten heel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those two.
Chris
They
said
are.
little kitten heel.
little kitten
A
heel
little something.
action. But
Funny.
I mean, yeah, that's not her choice.
Right.
That's, she's not the stylist, but I think there's a lot to be said because I have kids that I taught in New York, and we did a number, and I made them all wear heels, like ballroom heels, probably like 2.5 inches, and they were like, oh my god. Even the owner of the studio that I work at was like, this is a crazy idea, and they're like 15, 16, 17 years old, and I'm like, no, it's not. These girls out here, you know, working dancers going to auditions with like
Stilettos.
Yeah.
6-inchers,
Right.
and they are serving it up. So if you're a girl, you have to dance in heels.
Yeah.
You have
Should be
to.
a well
Gotta
girl.
strengthen those ankles.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then we had Haley and Amanda do a 1950s routine.
And Chris had when me and Chris were watching it. Chris was like, there was really it was all no meat. It was just very cutesy. And again,
What they showed us.
right, Hadley.
From what they showed,
I've
right.
never. I want Hadley to serve me something like just real ratchet, real rugged, real grimy. You know, she's always very surface and very Disney, as we were saying, and just smiles. And even her name is Disney, Hadley. You know,
She is Disney, yeah.
right? You know, and I think that we haven't seen that side of her. I mean, she's a great dancer. They're all great dancers. We get that, but now it's time to really layers. You know, I mean, different layers.
Yeah.
They start evolving. You know, we've seen that with Amanda.
She kind of always gets the same routine, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, can we blame her?
That's a very
it's not
good
her
point.
fault. Like, had she had done that routine with like fierceness, it would have not.
Or it could have
Read
worked for
well.
her though. I mean, it could have read really well. I mean, it's.
I
I
see
mean,
what
like it was
you're
like
saying.
a sock hop 50s. You know,
I
you
mean,
kind of.
you could serve face with the sock hop 50.
Oh,
Come
and I
on.
do.
Yeah, you know that mean mug that for sure.
What I noticed is that I think Hadley really did have the character right on. I
Mhm.
saw with her, you know, that girl who's screaming for the Beatles or screaming for Justin Bieber, and she was so animated and Disney in a good way. But when you put her next to Amanda, I feel as though Amanda's joy is very effortless,
Mhm.
and she looked more like that really cute 50s diner girl. And so with her next to Amanda, it didn't make her look worse of a dancer when, you know, Robin gave her that very blunt critique. I
I
didn't
don't know
think
really
that at
where
all.
that came
I don't
from.
I don't either. I thought
but
that was
that's from what
crazy
we
because
saw.
I thought they looked great. But I thought the fact that because she was next to Amanda, who's a very like subtle expression, like she kind of grows up on stage and has this maturity, it made her look a little more cheesy when had she maybe had it done as a solo, it would have looked, you know, more character. And so I
Right.
think with that that's where the comparison maybe made her look a little bit too cheesy or a little too.
Like she was trying too hard?
I think it was too much of a
you know
character
what?
routine,
I think that is
though.
what it is. I think it's that sometimes, even though, we love Hadley and she's undoubtedly an incredible dancer, sometimes I think she tries too hard to do rather than to just be.
Right.
Right.
You don't.
But it was a character routine, so
Right. Yeah.
she did what was asked of her.
And how do you just be as a dancer though, or how do you just be in anything like that? Like how you can't just show up and it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm just gonna do this.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, I think with the comparison, like being next to Amanda when she does it, it looks like that's just who she is. Like it's not like she's trying too hard to be old or too hard to be over happy. For some reason there's something about Amanda that it just looks like it comes so naturally, and it's not too like the open
Forced.
vowels and the cheerleader faces and stuff like that. And like
Gotcha.
it's not anything that Hadley's doing wrong. It's just something that she could maybe develop more with maturity.
Sure.
I don't know. That was just my feeling on it. But I thought Robin
Makes
was
sense.
way off to say, you know what, Amanda's a better dancer than you.
It just came out.
And especially
wrong.
in that routine, it's not like that was like a routine displaying a ton of technique
Or skill.
Skill, yeah. It was just more
Yeah.
character, and I thought Hadley had the character.
It was
Yeah, I
randomness
do as well.
altogether.
I also love how
That's a
they
little
had the
random.
picture. Yeah, I love how they had the picture of Richie.
Yeah, so it was so
and that
cute.
the costumes were adorable. The ponytails were adorable. They both looked beautiful.
The
They had
end was
The
adorable.
winged eyeliner, and so yeah, I want to see more technical. I want to see her be able to shine and see the real Hadley come out. Will the real Hadley please stand up? Then we had the two youngest girls together, Asia and Lexine, did an 80s pop routine. And, I mean, Maria, again, this is the girls want to have fun. This is the girls want to have
She's
fun.
like, just have fun. Go out there and have fun.
You better have fun. Oh my God! If you're not having fun.
Like, how am I supposed to have fun with you
I don't-
screaming at me to have
the
fun?
thing about pairing Lexine and Asia together, Asia has such a dynamic
Fireball.
presence. And
She's
Lexine.
a threat to everyone.
yeah.
I think it's funny that they all try to come for her technique and tear her down. First of all, she's half their age. A, and B, at the end of the day, you're all scared of her.
Right.
Because you know that you're going to get on that stage next to her, and she's a firecracker.
Right. So and Lexine strikes me as having that poise Hawaiian kind of.
Hula girl.
Like, yeah, this is, everything's very like soft and not there's no kind of. No, I've never seen them in Hawaii.
Yeah,
how
no, that
they
makes
don't
sense.
they don't complete any movements. It's just like, hi, spam. You know what I mean? It's so weird.
I know where you're going with
you
that.
feel me? So like, and Lexine gives you that energy. Even in her freestyle, it's just very.
She is. She's very soft.
Yeah, and so.
I thought she was great tonight. I thought
I
she
did
was
too.
strong, too.
She had a lot of emotion.
In the
She was really
duet.
exciting.
And Asia, yeah, a little sloppy, her feet, her bent knees, but that face, undeniable.
Phase, you cannot, and the way she comes for it's they always say start strong, finish strong, right? Asia always starts strong, and again you don't care what she did in between the beginning and the end because those are both the most memorable parts, obviously. So I mean, Asia has a gimmick, and obviously it's working for her.
I can't wait
Well,
for
and
next week
also-
when we saw, I'm sorry, that clip where
she
was
rises from
like,
she's a phoenix. She rises from the
she's
ashes.
like an evil princess or something, but Lord,
Beyonce.
see.
you will book every job with that one look. That's it.
It could be, and I mean, it's the thing is though is that the reason why Asia has been able to make it so far is the reason why they're able to put 6-year-olds with 13, 14-year-olds is because it's more than just the technique. It's more than just skill, apparently, and
not any 6-year-old, Asia.
and not any 6-year-old Asia. Yeah, she is incredible, but yeah, you're right. Lots of flex feet, lots of turned-in legs, lots of bent knees, and we'll see if that ends up biting her a little later because it's the same critique
Every
every
week.
single time,
Right.
and the face can only get you
so far.
so far.
Don't rest on pretty, Asia.
Even though Robin says, "I'll put you next to Beyonce, and I'll still look at you." Like, okay. Madison did the 60s go-go, which we already talked about that, especially with Coreen.
I thought she was awesome.
Incredible. And turn sequence with that ponytail. I don't know if you guys have ever had long hair. I would assume no, but hair in the eyes, or maybe you've been whipped in a ponytail doing like a pas de deux
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
Hair in the eyes
It's
is
not a good look.
not a good look. It's not fun. It can be like scathing throughout the routine, and she held it together. I thought she started off really strong, but then you could see a little bit of weakness throughout
I
in
think
terms of
in her
the
face
kicks and in the
was
face. You could see the energy
only-
start to die a little bit.
Her energy in her face died a little, but as far as her technique and her lines and her body, like,
Amazing.
I just really wanted her to whip that ponytail until like her head flew off, because that's like.
And Madison, what I love about Madison is that she gets into character and she assumes a character, and she's confident with it. She's cocky with it. You know, it's not like she's trying to like, I don't know what. It's just so, again, she's effortless, and she's, I mean, I don't know, she's like 13 years old.
Something like that.
How are these kids have that kind of sex appeal at 13 is beyond me. But Madison makes it appropriate.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I think she might be my favorite.
Jordan had so much energy. She wins for energy this week.
Oh, yeah.
And she got the dumbbell figure waves from
Richie.
Jordan, hip hop,
sick. Beast. I know some professional dancers who can't serve it like that girl.
She was an alien. I don't know if it was her mom's, screaming and yelling, or if it was just her, putting her game face on and rising to the occasion.
Well, she's a working professional.
Kept her game face on. She kept her energy up completely. Like, she finished, and it was as if she didn't even break a sweat.
Yep.
And incredible.
She was on fire.
I wrote like energy in all caps.
And she was clean though too, and the movement she was doing she wasn't even alive for that. So for her to actually embody that kind of style, I mean, you can't teach that kind of swag.
Oh my gosh.
She was executing and killing it the exact same way they would have done back in 92, 93.
Yep.
Ripping it, and then all the nuances is the whole like stop, cast, stop, high, like everything
slow motion,
and then that little groove she did,
and then on the ground,
on her feet.
She's just so dope.
She's an alien.
An alien. She's not human. Not human. If I need a mom like that to make me sick and ferocious, I'm with it.
Hey, right?
Right.
Well, her and Madison made it as the top two, which is great. Lexine and Hadley were at the bottom in the hot seat, and I think there's really no comparison there. I think we knew Lexine was going to go home, and it's unfortunate that this, or at least I thought, maybe you disagreed.
I thought Hadley needed to go.
Really?
Sorry. Only because Lexine, I thought she was stronger than Hadley this week, and going back. But again, I feel like Hadley's not had the best numbers.
Right. She's a victim of circumstance. She's a victim of the throwing at her,
Yeah.
Getting back to Hadley's mom, Yvette, crying, I almost shed a tear for her there, too, because she went from talking about her daughter to, like... And you could really see that what was said to her. I mean, it was an awkward moment. Robin created the most awkward moment of one of these.
A couple of them. Yeah. A couple of them today.
Right. Telling her that, and I felt Yvette's pain. Because I was even like, wow, that was harsh, And I'm an ice king. There's a lot. I could be harsh myself, but I was like, wow, Robin, you really came for her there,
Yeah.
And then for Yvette to cry like that was like, you know what? Yeah, I was won over by Yvette. So I don't want Hadley to leave. Like you said, Chris, she hasn't had the best choreography. So hopefully in the next coming weeks we'll get some. I want Hadley to kill a dope hip hop piece.
Yeah, or something.
Anything.
Or something sexy, even like what Madison did tonight.
I also have to say that despite me giving so much slack to Kelly this week, she won me over at the end when she was being the dance mom on the side of the stage. Like,
she is super cute.
Like you could see her like wanting to dance or like kind of do the choreography, watching her daughter from the back, just kind of like, yeah.
Get it.
I do think that
because she could see her killing it,
The choreography this week was pretty good, though. Like, as far as good. I mean, if we're gonna clock the choreographers and the actual content that we're seeing as far as the dancing goes, it was good this week. It was really good. It was probably one of the best because there's been some numbers that are just like the end of the world. Sabotage last week. What was that? There were so many bad numbers in that.
What bad numbers?
Well,
the guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not good.
Cute. I thought it was good.
Cute.
Hadley's number last week.
With the dreadlocks.
That was weird.
Oh, okay.
Love Hadley, but the choreography.
Chris, you were there for that, right? You were here for that
no,
show.
No, he was on The Voice.
Oh, hi, welcome back, Chris. Yeah, dog.
No, but I watched
it.
I know. I'm caught up.
He was dancing on his own.
I know, but I meant like watching the show. You were there to watch the show yourself, and
he watched it.
Okay, because Hadley's routine was.
No,
like
I remember that. I was a little. Costume was cool.
Yeah. But they clocked their class. They clocked everything. Her hair, costume. They were like not feeling it. But again, in conclusion, this week the routines they definitely redeemed themselves from last week.
And she could have been stronger in her face last week, but that solo.
Yeah.
It's a weird solo to interpret, though. Well, we'll
They've
see what happens next week.
Things.
Let's go ahead and move into predictions. Because news and gossip we kind of already revealed a little bit.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So there will be a season 2, which we know. So if you want to apply, if you know someone that should apply, go to mylifetime.com. And if you want to see a second season, again, make sure you go and Rate us on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Leave us your feedback. And again, Richie Squirrel will be back with us. New website, richiesquirrel.com. Guys, what do you think is going to happen next week? It's going to be a little cray, I think. Lots of crying, lots of tears.
I honestly feel like Asia's gonna go home.
Really?
That would be. I mean, that would be the wrench. That would be like the end of the world. Yeah, shocker. But I mean, they keep clocking her every week. And for those who don't know what clock means, it's also another phrase for they keep giving her critiques about the same thing. But read. Also, read means the same thing. So you can either use clock or read. But
I think it should be like clock. Read. Word of the day.
Yeah, they keep clocking her on the same things, and so I mean, you can only that face, like you said, can only take you so far. And Abby is unforgiving.
But it's not one face. It's not like she's Zoolander up in there, you know? She's got multiple ferocious looks.
And Abby loves it.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, you can't take your eyes off her. Everyone loves. I mean, I would think everyone loves it when you're performing to. I mean, most of the time when we perform to regular people.
Right.
It's not always a room full of dancers. And what's someone gonna watch? Like someone's pointed, turned out foot, or are they gonna see that face and be like, "Wow, she is in it."
Yeah.
You know?
By the way, I'm glad that Abby stepped back and let Richie critique the hip hop. At the same time, the whole comment about the turned in foot. Sit down, Abby.
It's
Have a
funny
seat,
that
Abby.
was
Sit down, Abby.
Abby, I love you, but that was the second time in this episode that she kind of was
Spoke to hear herself talk.
and saying that she's not as well rounded. Like who did ballroom? Was it Amanda earlier
Yes.
in the freestyle? And she didn't even want to have it, you know. And then for the hip hop, she was like, oh, you know, you gotta turn your leg. Like, no, you don't. You know. And it's just strange that you wouldn't think she would make herself vulnerable like that to say, oh, I don't really know about this style of dance.
I hope everyone gets a solo next week.
That would be
I hope
nice.
we see some more group
And
numbers.
I want to see these group dances.
And I guess we're going to
that
have to
Coreen
log
was
in
talking about.
and figure out where that is, because I've been visiting the website a couple times and I haven't seen that, so maybe that's something that we need to add
Can we
to our
say,
show.
Yvette, I just want to say props for one of the quotes, which she said, which it's never your setback that matters, it's always your comeback that counts.
Yeah, good
Also,
stuff.
I wrote that down.
you're either in or you're in the way.
Yes. I love the quotes. I love the motivational quotes.
Gotta love it. My mom's one of cliches, so I love it. Guys, let us know where everyone can find you outside of AfterBuzz. Chris?
Cris Canger on Twitter, CRIS, and same on Facebook. Look me up, friend me, follow me. What do you do these days?
Stalk me, whatever.
Yes, please. I want you to.
Jason?
You can find me on Twitter at JJCForever, and you can also find me on Facebook at the Jason J. Carter fan page.
Oh, the fan page.
Oh.
And
And
stalkers for sure.
yeah, I would imagine so. You can
Those
find
new
me
pics.
at Giselle Ugarte, GISELLEUGARTE. And if you want to stalk me on Facebook, I guess you can subscribe to my updates, but I don't friend strangers, so.
I do.
Princess! I forget. Far be it for me to deny someone who wants to be my friend.
Exactly, rude.
Well, but it'll be my
Bro.
real page, not my fan page. It's my real page. It's
Oh.
pretty public.
You have a fan page, Giselle?
No, I said I said that
Oh.
I have a real page that's public.
I was like, you're
Clock. Are you trying to clock right now?
Anyways, thank you so much for watching Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. We'll see you at the same time next week, and thank you, Marissa. We'll see you guys very soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.